My biggest site-wide sale of the year is right around the corner, and this is probably my favorite Black Friday sale offer yet. So mark your calendars for November 22nd when the sale kicks off. You'll find all my website templates on sale, all my courses on sale, and 4 new Showit add-on templates launching that I'm just so thrilled about. Plus, I'm offering some bigger deals with bundles for the first time ever this year, and you can get all the details at elizabethmccravey.com/BF and join the waitlist to be able to shop the sale a day earlier with some special bonuses. So I can't wait to see ya on November 22nd for the 2024 Black Friday event. Now, here's the episode. Today we are talking about the things you need to do before you buy a new Showit website template. And I'm really ideally talking to people who are newish business owners, or if this is one of or your very first website. However, if this is like a rebrand for you and you already have a Showit site, this will apply to you as well. But especially will apply to you if you're like, hey, I'm starting a business, I'm getting my first template, and I'm excited, but I want to know what I should do first. So good news, there's actually not a ton that I feel like you need to do because so much of the actions can take place once you have taken the action of purchasing the template and like choosing the template, all of that kind of stuff, which I know could be a really difficult decision. But also I know that getting started can feel really overwhelming, especially as a new business owner, because there are so many steps you're taking from choosing a business name to choosing what you'll offer, how you'll price things, who you want to serve. You got to make an Instagram profile, maybe register your business, maybe make bank accounts, etc. So it can feel like a website is just another one of the many, many tasks on your big to-do list. And so as a website designer myself of many years, I've worked with clients on custom sites. I've also sold thousands of templates at this point, and I'm considered a top Showit designer. So I've helped a lot of people with this. And so these are the 3 things when I thought about this, I think are worth doing before you buy your template, remembering that so much of the work can happen after. And then also at the end of this episode, I'm going to share what happens after you buy a Showit template as a new user. And then also I have a rapid fire 7 things to look for in a website template at the very end. So let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth McCravey, an online educator for entrepreneurs, website designer, wife, boy mom, and your host for the Breakthrough Brand podcast, the show that's all about pulling back the curtain on how to actually build a successful business. I don't skim the surface around here. If you want to dive deep into the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to run a sustainable business that fits your unique lifestyle while standing out in a crowd, then you are in the right place. I created a multiple 6-figure a year business in my early 20s, and now in my 30s, I'm still running that successful multiple 6-figure a year business on just part-time hours now as a working mom. I'm here to share everything I've learned and everything I'm still learning because I believe that the keys to building a thriving business should never be a secret. Here you'll find episodes that are actionable, direct, and fun, like friends chatting business over coffee, and a fresh, honest take on the reality of being an entrepreneur. If you're ready to master online marketing, website design, personal branding, mindset, time management as a busy parent, scalable and passive income, and business strategy, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to build your breakthrough brand. Let's do this. All right, the first step, and these are in no particular order actually, but the number 1 of these 3 things that I would say you should do before you buy a Showit template is research your competitors to see if they're using the exact same template that you're eyeing. So this is a huge one that I actually feel like you won't hear template sellers really talking about much. And let me kind of explain it. So the problem with a template, right, is that's a template. And if you don't know what a website template is, it's a pre-made website that is being sold to lots of different people, really just whoever wants to buy it, and then you customize it for your business. So because it's a template and not a custom site, other people can end up with a website really similar to yours. Like if you don't customize the template much and they don't customize the template much and you're inputting just your own photos and videos and copy, it can look really similar to someone else, which, okay, let me just, if you're like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. It's actually really okay. I really mean that. There's nothing wrong with a website template that's popular and used by a lot of people, okay? And a thing I actually love about Showit templates in particular is how customizable they are compared to templates on other platforms like Squarespace, for example. Those are a lot harder to customize. So when you buy a Squarespace template, you're more likely that like the other people who buy that template is going to look the same as yours. But with Showit, people change it up a lot. So you can have the same template and it actually be like, it doesn't look like anyone else's. Something hilarious that happens to me all the time, y'all. Seriously, all the time. People will launch their new website and they'll tag me in it, which please always do. If you use one of my templates, I would love to see it when you launch. So tag me on Instagram or email us. But often when I get tagged on Instagram, I see the template or see their new website, I should say. And I know they're citing me. They're like, I got this from Elizabeth. And I can't tell what template they used, right? Of my own templates. And I'm the one that designed them. And I'm still looking at this. And I'm like, wait, did they use the Casey template or is that the Gabby template? Like, I can't tell. Because they've customized it a lot, right? Which is really awesome. Again, and that's a great way to kind of like even prevent what I'm talking about here that could be an issue. But something I have seen often with templates from other shops actually is that like too many times your website ends up looking exactly like your competitor's site, like exactly, because y'all are both using the same big shop template. So for example, like let's talk about photography businesses. So it's fine if Caitlin in Idaho uses the same exact template as you in Arizona, and y'all are both photographers and you're all both local wedding photographers though. So y'all bought the same template and you both didn't change that much and it's fine. Okay, like that's truly fine. However, the issues comes up when y'all are serving the same market with the same template. So let's say now y'all both live in Arizona and y'all both use the same template and now y'all are both in the same market with websites that look super, super similar, and consumers, potential clients are going to notice this, right? So anyway, that's just something to keep in mind. And again, like I almost like didn't want to share that one because I feel like it can freak people out, but I do feel like this is something worth saying because again, it's not said enough, but it should not scare you away from buying templates. Okay. That's what I want to emphasize, but maybe it should caution you on buying a template if you see that like your exact competitors are using that exact same template. And again, this is something where like not buying from the absolute biggest template shop can help because you're less likely to have this issue with medium to small sized template shops. So just something to keep in mind, researching competitors. And if you don't know who your competitors are, there's a lot of different ways you can kind of figure that out through like Google searching, like keywords that you're going to use on your website. If you are a location-based business, searching things around that location, like in that example, like Idaho wedding photographer and things like that, and kind of see what other people are using. And before we go to the next one, I just want to add here that with this particular number one point, I actually don't end up seeing this as an issue happening with my template customers because my shop is both small enough that not everyone on the planet is using my templates. And also my shop serves such a wide variety of business types. So I do have wedding photographers buying my templates, but there's also like copywriters, podcasters, content creators, social media managers, bookkeepers, counselors. Like there's just such a wide variety that you're way less likely to end up with someone in your exact niche, in your exact market with the exact same template. So anyway, just something to keep in mind there. Okay, second one. I like this one. This one I feel is really important. So get brand photos done or a video or photo plan for your website in place. So basically all this means is think about the photos and videos for your website ahead of time. And this doesn't mean that you need to have everything finalized perfectly and all the photos you're going to use and all the videos you're going to use ready to go. But you do need to start thinking about it because this kind of decision and knowing the direction you're going to go for photos and if you're going to hire a photographer for new photos and all that will really help in your template selection. So like maybe you want to use some stock videos and photos. I actually have an episode about this, episode 192. I talk about how to use stock photos and videos effectively in your business without being cheesy. So go back and listen to that. I'll link to that in the show notes. That's 192. But that's something to go ahead and think about. Maybe you start a stock membership and you like get in and kind of see, okay, what kind of photos am I thinking? Okay, now I've picked some photos I really like. Does that work with the template I'm thinking about getting? I really recommend Hot Stock. Also, real just fast side note for really just like interrupting this episode with a suggestion for the small business owners listening. Ever wonder what you should do for healthcare when you and your spouse are both self-employed so there's no work-provided health insurance to participate in? Well, when my husband Adam joined me in the entrepreneurial job space over 4 years ago, we joined Christian Healthcare Ministries instead of getting traditional health insurance. And it was the best decision for us, especially in these years of growing and raising a family while also running multiple businesses. CHM is a health cost-sharing ministry and is a faith-based alternative to health insurance. insurance. We did tons of research before choosing CHM, and if you know me and Adam, you know we are all about doing the math when making big or small financial decisions. And even though it's not insurance, CHM shares 100% of eligible medical bills, which is more than the typical 70 or 80% of medical bills paid for by insurance companies. All sharing is determined by the CHM guidelines, which you can check out before and after joining. And for the mamas and mamas to be listening, you truly cannot find a better healthcare option for maternity care. I had a vaginal delivery and a C-section and birth center care and hospital care between my 2 pregnancies and births, and it was all 100% shared for. And outside of birth, we've had our share of emergency room visits and procedures as a family, and those costs were all shared by members at Christian Healthcare Ministries, leaving us only paying our monthly contribution. CHM is less expensive month to month than insurance, and because there's no network, you can choose your care with whichever providers best fit your family. I seriously just cannot recommend Christian Healthcare Ministries enough. You've got to check them out. Go to elizabethmccravey.com/CHM for more information. Also putting that link in the show notes, elizabethmccravey.com/CHM. Now back to the episode. Gorgeous, professional feeling stock photos. So that's a membership, and that's HAUTE stock. You can use the code Elizabeth for a big discount on your membership. But anyway, so that's just a side note. But then you also may want to get fresh photos to match the new website as part of a rebrand, or maybe this is your first time ever having a website, having a business. So you're like, yes, I need photos because the only photos I have of myself are like iPhone photos of my kids or like family portrait type situations. So you don't really have any photos of just yourself or just yourself in a business type setting. So in that case, you probably are going to need to find a photographer and plan a photo shoot. And again, I do think this is something worth working on and booking before you buy the template, because the direction you take on these photos, maybe even having the photos, could help you in choosing which template you want to get. So even just thinking about the colors you want to use on the website. So like, for example, you kind of want what you're wearing in your photos on the website to somewhat match the colors on the website. Now, it doesn't need to match exactly to a T, because that can actually look like overkill when you do, but you want some of the main imagery to match your brand colors. So kind of planning the brand photo shoot in that regard. So it could be that like you've narrowed it down to a few templates you're choosing between, and now you book the photo shoot, you plan your outfits, you do the photo shoot maybe, and then you pick the template, or maybe you pick the template and you're able to show your photographer and be like, hey, this is the template I bought. These are the colors I'm planning on keeping from the template. I'm going to change this color out and this color out, but like this is kind of the direction we're going. I also really love the vibe of this template. It's fun and cheerful, and that's how I want my photos to feel. Like it can all kind of work together. And I truly believe like a great website is a combination of the website design, the words you say, that's so much more important than people emphasize normally, and then the photos. Like those are really like the 3 things you're combining together to make the way the website looks on the exterior, so to speak. So this is something you do want to focus on and think about. And on episode 15 of this podcast, ages ago, I probably need to record an updated one of that. But if you want to go back to that, I have a whole episode on how to plan a photo shoot for your business. I've done so many photo shoots at this point in my years of business. And I've also done family shoots. And that's just a really quick side tip. If you're hearing me right now talk about a photo shoot and you're like, Elizabeth, I'm a brand new business owner. I cannot afford a photo shoot. I feel weird hiring someone to just take photos of me alone. Like whatever you're feeling, one just quick tip. And I actually gave this tip to one of my friends who just started a business. If you are doing your annual photos for your family Christmas card, maybe, that's coming up right now if you're listening to this live, or maybe you're doing pregnancy announcement photos, or like just whatever it is, just pick an outfit that you would feel like works for your business and ask the photographer to take a few headshots of you. And maybe you want to tell them this ahead of time if that feels like sleazy to you to like get some solo photos in a family shoot. But I do not think a photographer will have an issue with this. And you just say like, hey, like, can we actually, leave the husband and the kids over there? I want some photos of just me, and I'm going to put them on my new website. That can be a great way to just knock that out all in one setting. And again, I've done this sort of thing before. Actually, when I did at the end of last year, I did a maternity photo shoot when I was 36 weeks pregnant, and I got some photos that are actually like all over my website. And I just tried to hide my pregnancy bump, but I was like, I'm getting maternity photos for like the memories for my family and myself, because I liked doing that with my first pregnancy. I did it with my second as well. But then I'm like, I'm also going to get some photos for my new website. My literal podcast art, you guys, is from that photo shoot. And again, this photographer knew that was my plan. Like we rented a studio. I told her I want to get some photos for my business, potentially new podcast podcast art, and photos just to commemorate this pregnancy. So anyway, you can kind of do that as well if you feel like you don't have the time capacity or the financial capacity to do a photo shoot just for your business. All right, and the third and final thing I have on this list to do before you buy a show template. If you're a new business owner, choose your business name and secure your domain name. And domain name, to kind of explain what those are, we all know what a business name is, right? But a domain name is the URL at which your website lives. So people type that into their search bar on their phone or on their browser, and your website appears. So for example, my domain name is elizabethmccravey.com. And so I bought that. I actually bought it on GoDaddy. That's where I host all my domains, but there's so many different places you can buy domains. And domains are really low cost compared to things like your website hosting or buying a website template, at least if you're picking a domain that isn't crazy popular. In fact, that's even just a random tip, like, because some people don't know what to expect, but like with your domain name, I would say paying less than like $200 a year for sure should be your expectation. And if you're seeing like thousands of dollars or something, that means it's a really high value domain, and you need to be aware of that when you're buying it. Like it needs to be that you like are making that investment and making sure the name's not trademarked and things like that when you're spending that much money on a domain. So anyway, this is something that you don't buy from Showit, but instead you buy somewhere else, like GoDaddy, for example, Google Domains, for example, but then you hook it up to your Showit website. So doing this prior is worth it, I think, because it's simple to just set up and get it done. And it is an important part of starting a business and also naming your business, right? That's the not so simple step. Buying a domain is really simple, easy, takes about 10 minutes total. But naming your business can be such a huge process, but obviously such an important thing as a new business owner. And I feel as though you won't really be able to start on your template customization without a business name, because you'll feel kind of held up on things like the copy and the images and even the logo space on the template. So that's why I put this as an early step. And I have a free guide on how to name your business. It's a workbook you can print out that will help guide you in the naming process. That's at elizabethmccravey.com/name. And also episode 50 of this podcast. So another one that's quite old. If you scroll back to that episode though, I talk about mistakes to avoid when naming your business. So that's really worth listening to as well. So those are the three things I have that you should do before you buy a template. Just researching to see if competitors are using the template you're thinking about, get your photos and videos done, or make a plan and start thinking about that, and then name your business and secure a domain name. And I thought about adding website copy or starting a website copy as one of the steps. Actually, originally it was like having 4 and I was going to have that as one, but I changed my mind on this because I think it actually can be better for most people to start on the copy after you've bought a template, because it can feel really overwhelming to write copy with like nothing to look at, no website inspiration when you're completely DIYing your website. So I took that off. But if you are someone that you feel like, oh, I like the copy is really something that maybe comes a little bit easier to you than starting with like a blank Google Doc, and starting on copywriting for some of those key pages could be a good thing to do. But again, not a necessity whatsoever. And it actually is really cool. A lot of templates will help guide you in your copywriting, so you can kind of like use the template framework to know what to even put on the website, which is really helpful. So that's why I took that one off. But if you're thinking like, wait, Elizabeth, why didn't you talk about copy? That is why. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you what happens after you buy a Showit template as a new user. And then I got those 7 rapid fire things to look for in a website template. So what happens after you buy a template? It can be like, what the heck? Okay, what do I do? I don't have a Showit account. I don't even really know what Showit is. Like, what do I do after I buy a template? So if you buy directly from a designer like myself, and I can speak to my own purchase process here, but I know a lot of other shops have a similar process, but you'll purchase it, right? Using a credit card, PayPal. You can do a payment plan, no payment plan, so many different options there. And then you'll get a confirmation email, a receipt for your bookkeeping purposes, and some onboarding type content as well, all delivered over an email to help you get started and lay out clear steps. And I'll say my onboarding stuff is really clear, straight to the point. It's not too much information. It's just exactly what you need and what you need to know. And then the really important thing that's particular to Showit is that you will receive a site key that you input into your Showit account, and that adds the template to your website. And it's seriously so easy. You make the free Showit account, a trial account, so to speak, or you may already be paying for Showit. In that case, you're just adding the template to the account and you add the template. And my templates actually come with a video that's like a 3-minute long video with directions on how to do this, how to add the Showit template to your account if you need help with that. But it honestly is super intuitive. And I also offer 1 month of free Showit to my customers and community with the code Elizabeth. So you can also just like very much wait to start paying for Showit until you've like finish customizing your website depending on how quickly you do it, or are close to customizing it. So that's a really just awesome way to save money there. And once you have it in your account, you start customizing your template using Showit's resources, using the resources your template company provides, using the support your template company provides. My templates come with a training course really called the Showit Blueprint course. And we also offer customer support over email directly with me. Showit also offers customer support as well. And then once you're done customizing it, you hook it up to your domain name and you can launch it. And you don't have to have everything perfect before you launch. Maybe it's that you have all the key pages done, but you know you want to add some other pages later. You still launch it. And you can keep editing it. Once you launch it, it's not done. You can literally publish your website 100 times a day if you wanted to, as you make updates. So that is how it works. That's basically the steps. And again, it's all just starts with making that purchase and you're able to go through those steps. Really, really awesome and straightforward. Okay, now my 7 things to look for in a website template. Dun dun. Actually, I'll need to do a whole episode on this, but this is not the most extensive list ever, but I was thinking just now as I outlined this, I was like, okay, if I was going to tell someone just a short list of things to look for in any website template from any company, these are the things I would say. And I want to add to that my website templates, because I really care about offering like the best experience, the best templates I can. My templates match all these boxes. Okay, so if you want to just shop templates that you know match these, elizabethmccravey.com/shop will get you there with all my Showit templates. But these are things just from any shop to look for. So 1, designed by a legit designer to where you can trust that things are set up well on the back end of the template. And what I mean by that is that it's not only pretty, but it's set up well. And you would be shocked by how many templates that, you buy this $50 full site template on Etsy, and it's actually just so poorly designed on the back end. It's a nightmare. You'll never be able to customize it. You'll never rank on Google, like all these kinds of problems. So just starting with a really legit shop, a legitimate designer where you trust them, you trust their process, things are going to be set up well behind the scenes. There's good testimonials from previous users, those kinds of things. Okay, second, a design you think that your ideal customers and clients will find engaging and appealing. Okay, so it's not just about like, ooh, I like this because it fits me. Think about your ideal clients and customers. Will they like this website? Will the design be engaging and appealing to them? Third, SEO friendly. So you can do some things on your end actually to see if the website template is SEO friendly or not. I have some podcast episodes about that I'll link to in the show notes. But I also think it's worth just like asking the designer, like, hey, do you design for SEO optimization? See if they have other customers who found themselves like ranking well on Google after using the template. If you're familiar with SEO, you can probably look at the template also and kind of figure this out for yourself. But this is something really worth looking into because again, like SEO is so important with our websites, but also it's something that like with even a template that's set up poorly for SEO, I think you still have the potential to rank because you can like undo issues, but it'd be better not to have to do that, right? And just to have a template that's already set up well for that. And then you just have to put in your content and then you're ready to go. Okay, number 4, support and training from the template shop if that's important to you. And if you're new to the Showit platform. So maybe that's not important to you. Maybe you're like, I already know Showit really well. I don't really need support and training. If so, that's not something to look for. But if you feel like I want help with this and I want good videos, I want videos that are custom to the templates I'm buying, then that is something to look for, a shop that provides that kind of support and training. Okay, number 5, 300 plus words on the homepage. This is just a quick little SEO thing. But if like, I would even add in general to this, and this is a more nuanced one, but sometimes website templates don't really have places for you to add copy. And you're like, you look at it and you're like, start customizing, you're like, wait, like I have words I need to put on my website, but it's like all photos. So focusing like a website that focuses on words so you can actually sell your stuff, I think that's important. All right, number 6, look for a template that's not too custom feeling that it'll be hard for you to customize. So some templates feel like they're not templates at all, and therefore it gets really hard to actually customize. I know that doesn't really make sense when I say it, but I promise you, like if you just when you see it, you'll know. You'll be like, oh yeah, Elizabeth said this. I feel this with this website. So that's something to think about because that is like as designers, even if you're listening to this right now, as a website designer, designing for a custom one-on-one client is different than designing a website template. And you have to know how to design for resale versus designing for a custom client. And it is a different thing. So like looking for templates that are designed for resale, basically, it's going to make a better experience for you. And then number 7, copy prompts. If you feel like this would be helpful, again, if copywriting design feels something like intimidating you, you're not working with a copywriter, website templates that kind of are telling you like, hey, here's what you should put in this area. Here's what you should put in this area. And you can see just kind of looking at that filler copy, looking at them using headlines. Most templates are going to use some of that lorem ipsum. Is that how you say ipsum? Lorem ipsum text. That's just like gibberish, basically. That's normal. And we're actually supposed to do that with our templates. But what I really mean is looking for like headlines, sometimes even like the first sentence of a paragraph kind of explaining like, hey, here's what you should consider putting here. If you want a really strong example of what I'm talking about with that one, look at my sales page templates because I do that really intensely on that. It's like with those, you're not only buying a sales page, but you're buying like a complete guide on how to like write a sales page because like all the copy is directing you for like what to put where, which I think is really helpful. So again, that might not be something that you feel like you need, but if that's a common hang up I see with template customization and websites in general is writing the copy. So if you feel like that would be helpful, that's something to look for. So those are my 7 things to look for in a website template. And I'm probably going to do a part 2 of this where I share even more. It's just like a single episode. So stay tuned for that if that's interesting to you. Okay. So to wrap this up, I want to say my Black Friday sale is just around the corner. And this is the biggest sale of this year and always the biggest sale I do every year. And it's actually one of my only sales this year. I haven't done that many sales on my templates this year. And so this is really like I'm going all out for this one. It's super, super awesome deals, bundles, something new I'm offering this year that as you're like looking through these steps of things to do before you buy a template that might be interesting to you, I'm doing a save now, choose later option for the first time, which basically means you can lock in the Black Friday deal and then choose your website template before February 1st of 2025 and choose it anytime between now and then. So you lock in the deal and then you can be like, okay, I locked in the sale from Elizabeth and now I'm going to do these 3 things and then I'm going to choose my template after I've done these steps, right? So if that's you, if you're like, wait, I really just want to enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday, my November is absolutely insane, then you don't feel like you have time to like shop for a website template, that is going to be a deal you want to check out. Save now, choose later. Really, really excited to offer that. And I have all kinds of other stuff too, including some new template launches, 4 new add-ons launching as part of Black Friday. So anyway, really, really excited about that. If you guys know me, you know I love sales, I love marketing, I love launches, and Black Friday is like such a fun time for me as a business owner. So you can get on the wait list to shop the sale a day early and get all the information about when the sale starts and things like that at elizabethmccravey.com/BF, short for Black Friday. And if you're listening to this later, you'll see this during Black Friday, all the information for the sale will also be on that page when it's live. And if you're listening to this in like a random time, maybe like, July of 2025 or something, come shop still. And I would encourage you, if that's when you're listening, to go to elizabethmccravey.com/quiz and take my quiz to get matched with your website personality. We have 4 different profiles you can be, 4 different website personalities, and it's going to guide you to like, okay, within your website personality, here's more about you, here's about your ideal client, and then here's some template suggestions. And you also get free Canva templates and a really great coupon code to save on my templates when you take that quiz. Okay, that is it, guys. I hope you are enjoying your November. I hope you are gearing up and excited for the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas holiday. This is seriously like some of my favorite times of year, so I'm really excited. And stay tuned in the next coming weeks for my annual Christmas episode on this podcast and some other really fun stuff coming. All right, thank you, guys. Bye. Hey, thank you for listening to the podcast all the way to the end. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed this episode, then I want to invite you to check out my website template shop too. Over on elizabethmccravey.com, you'll find Showit website templates that are easy to use, strategically designed, and created to help you make more money from your website. Maybe your current website is really boring, maybe it's a challenge to update, and maybe it's even the thing you feel like is holding your business back. Your website needs to be strategically and intentionally designed in order for it to convert your viewers into raving customers, and that's exactly what my templates do. These templates are designed to be SEO friendly on the back end, not just pretty, and also strategic with all the strategies I teach on this show, and they are easy for you to set up all by yourself. So shop them at elizabethmccravey.com/shop and come join thousands of happy customers using these templates. And as an added perk, you can use the code BBPodcast at checkout to get 10% off your template as a thank you for being part of the podcast fam. Again, that's BB Podcast for 10% off any template over on elizabethmccravey.com.
Also, if you loved this episode, leaving a rating and review for the show on wherever you're listening or sharing it with a friend is a great way to support this podcast. Thank you again for listening, and I'll be back next week with a new episode.